So, hi.
Hello.
How's it all going?
Very well, very well.
How many gigs do you still have? How big is the tour?
It's I think it's 23 dates, I think, and then we do extra 3 or 4 after the tour before returning home.
Okay.
So yeah, it's almost 30 gigs for us.
You've toured massively in the past few years, and I think not so much before.
No, it's getting more and more each year. We didn't really tour that much last year because we were. Was it last year or the year before?
Last
we were
year there was quite a few tours.
Yeah, last year.
Fest
Sorry.
and
Yeah, last year we did do a tour. The year before that we didn't tour much because we were writing an album. But we kind of started this whole touring thing in 2009. So I mean we haven't been touring for such a long time, basically.
And how come? Because the band has been around since '95, I think.
Yeah, but we didn't play outside of Iceland until 2005, I think was the first time. So it took us 10 years just to get out of Iceland. And then it's just building slowly at first, I guess, but now it's kind of escalating and we're touring a lot more now.
So how was it like the years? Can you sum up your career a bit? Because we know what you've been doing since 2008-9, but before that, how was it like for the band? How was the situation?
It was kind of strange. I mean, like, we started out in 95, like you said. We didn't even play live in Iceland until 2000, I think. Because there was no scene in Iceland. There was nothing. There were like 3 bands, you know, and no places to play. And even if you would play, nobody would show up because there were like 10 people listening to metal in Iceland at that time. But then this kind of hardcore punk scene came along in Iceland, and we started to play with those bands, which I guess maybe has influenced us in a way, because then the scene evolved. It was quite strange, like black metal bands playing with hardcore bands, death metal bands. It's just too small to divide it. So from like 2000 till 2008 or so, we were mostly playing in Iceland. Like I say, a few gigs outside of Iceland from 2005. And yeah, 2005 we released our second album, which was the first one on a proper label. So I guess that changed things a bit, although it was kind of slowly. It wasn't like, we've never been like flavor of the day, you know, or flavor of the month. We've never been the big boom, so, but we still have a steady growing. I think that's much more healthier, actually.
And what kept you going for until your 2007-8 as a band? How did you keep strong?
Stupidity. We're too stupid to quit, actually. We say that all the time. We should have quit so many years ago. Because most bands give up. You know, like I said, it took us 10 years just to get out of Iceland. Most bands give up after 5 years or something if they haven't made it big. So, you know, we're just stupid enough to love what we're doing. We love playing music, that's it. You know, of course, it's nice that people listen to your music and all that. And I know this sounds like a cliche, but we do it for the love of the music, not for anything else, really. And I think we've kind of proven that by doing this for such a long time before people even noticing us. So that's, yes, it's just the love of playing that keeps us going.
And how do you enjoy the life on tour?
I actually quite like it, because it's quite simple. You know, you come to a venue, you know what you have to do. You just have to load in the stuff, you have to do a sound check, then it's dinner, then you play, you know, hang out a bit, load out. It's really simple, and I've had many jobs in my life, all kinds of jobs. I hated every single one of them, but this one, I mean, okay, I don't consider it a job, but this one I quite like though. Like I said, because it's simple. It's not always easy, but it's simple. So yeah, I like it.
And do you have any specific highlights you could share from tour?
From touring? Well, I don't know. There are so many great things that happen all the time, and some not so great things. So I don't know, highlights or lowlights. Yeah, I don't know. But most of the time it's quite. I wouldn't say boring, but it's not as glamorous as people think. You know, it's just.
I guess every day looks a bit like yesterday because you know what you're doing anyways.
Yeah, it's basically always the same. You know. But then, of course, you know, there are. Sometimes there are great parties, and we have good friends all over, and it's great to meet them and have a few drinks. And you know, like somebody said on this tour, it's always either Friday or Saturday, and then once in a while it's Sunday. But you know, if you choose to, it can be a lot of fun.
And so you released the last album in 2011. Are you planning a new one, working on some?
Yeah, we're writing a new one. We started writing a few songs before this tour. And I don't know about other bands, but we can't really write music on tour. We have to just lock ourselves in the rehearsal room and just jam for hours. Like we wrote the last album, we would show up at our rehearsal place at, 10 in the morning, stay there until 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and just do that 5 times a week. So I guess we'll do some of that after we return home now. And we are hoping to have a new album out early next year. So yeah, early 2014.
And do you have other future projects after this tour? What is making the new album the plan?
Yeah, making a new album. We've got some summer festivals, and then we are trying to book our own headlining tour, but I don't want to promise anything yet. Nothing is solid yet. But hopefully we will have our own headlining tour next winter. And then record an album, get it out early 2014.
And I saw on your last album you're also a photographer.
Yeah.
And so do you still do that?
Yeah, I do. It's like, I guess it's like writing music. The inspiration comes and goes. You know, you can't be creative all the time. I think sometimes you have to kind of stay away from it a while, and then the creativity kind of comes back to you. You know, it's the same like when we write an album and we record the album. Afterwards, we feel basically just drained. You know, it's you put all your effort into it, and when it's done, you just kind of have to take a little break, so to speak, you know.
And speaking of Last of Them, so I know you like Duran Duran a lot.
Yep.
What other things are you listening to?
Right now I've been listening a lot to the Kilimanjaro Dark Jazz Ensemble and some Icelandic bands, Valdimar, Eivör, she's from the Faroe Islands. I don't know, not so much metal actually. I don't really listen that much to metal. It's quite strange, like all the guys on the tour bus watching DVDs from Judas Priest and stuff like that. And maybe I'm just strange, I don't like that stuff. You know, I never liked heavy metal in a way, you know. Thrash metal I think is a boring song. It's like reggae, it's one song and it's boring. So yeah, I don't know, I'm listening to a lot of maybe different kind of stuff that you would expect from a guy in a kind of a metal band. Like Duran Duran.
Like Duran Duran. And are there any releases or bands you would recommend?
But Duran? Well, yeah, I mean, there's so much good music around if you just take the time to dig a little bit, you know. For people that want to find something else, you know, I recommend checking out some like Icelandic bands like Valdimar. There's this one guy called Jónas Sigurðsson I've been listening to a lot. Kilimanjaro Dark Jazz Ensemble. That's some good music. Boren under Club of Gore. You know, I don't know. There are so many good bands in every kind of genre. I think you can find something good in every genre. You know, even reggae and thrash metal. Okay, I mean I like 3 Slayer albums, so you know, I love old Metallica. So, you know, and there's probably a reggae band that's okay. I haven't found it yet though. But. So yeah, I don't know, just dig deep, you know.
And I don't have any more questions. Is there anything else you'd like to say, share?
No, not really, just, you know, buy my albums, I need some money.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.